What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with another Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 Skalgrim Mod ship spotlight. So continuing our look at the new ships that the Necrons have in the Skalgrim Mod, we are moving to the Osiris Titan, the next Titan in a line, and the carrier Titan that the Necrons have to sort of lead the Scourges, I suppose. The biggest launch bay capacity other than the Throne of the Silent King, which does make sense at less than half the cost. So that's quite a few of those launch bays in a single ship. Granted, it is not the same. It's still not as cost effective as Scourges if you're looking at pure launch bay capacity. But there are reasons I would say that the Osiris might be the better pick than a bunch of Scourges if it's not leading a bunch of Scourges, which I'll get into in a second. As usual, we're going to have a quick analysis of the ship and then jump into combat in multiple battles just to test it out against various different factions with focus on that ship itself. Anyway, the Osiris, 570 points, fairly expensive, but fairly reasonable considering that it can bring, once again, those 16 launch bays. You do have to remember that the Necron fighter, the Doom Sight, is very powerful, and in the mod, once again, as I've mentioned before, and as Skalgrim has pointed out multiple times, the Doom Sights are now functioning as fighter bombers and quite a bit more effective in their current role. I guess this does make sense considering that for some reason the devs didn't add the troop ships or the bombers for the Necrons. I still don't understand why, and I never will, but that's okay. I think this is a nice, elegant solution into making the Necrons' ordnance a force to be feared, especially as they don't have torpedoes or anything like that, so they're relatively limited in the types of ordnance with just one single type. Anyway, that's enough about fighters themselves. On to the Osiris. As I said, it is somewhat comparable to the Scourge, although not as many fighter bays per point value. It does have a lot of other things going for it. The main thing, I suppose, the thing that you would say makes it really stand out from the Scourge is the fact that it does have access to the Running Silent stance. Running Silent is very, very useful for carriers in general. It makes it sort of like a Zinchi or an Eldari carrier, wherein you're able to kite around, be hidden, not identified, and annoy the enemy with your fighter swarms. Really, really good, and it's something that the Scourge does not possess. Another thing that the Scourge does not possess, contrary to the Osiris, is the ability to use a Star Pulse Wave. The Osiris does have access to it, which, fair enough, is fairly reasonable for a Titan. The Osiris is, of course, slower than the Scourge, but I think because the Necrons have the access to their inertialist drive. For those who watched the Cairn Annihilator showcase, we saw that despite the relatively slow speed, and I want to point out that the Osiris does share speed with the Cairn Annihilator at 160, which is about equivalent to an Imperial Navy cruiser, it can still jump around and maintain the distance regardless of that speed, and it should be even further helped by the ability to run silent and the ability to jump around. So I think that's not a huge deal for the Osiris over the Scourge, just by virtue of having that in combination. Otherwise, the 160 speed, I do want to say, is reasonably slow for a ship that does want to maintain distance. It will certainly be a much more of an issue against enemy fleets that are much, much faster and are able to really quickly close the distance, like if you're facing a bunch of renders or something like that, something that is crazy fast and wants to get up close. It is much slower than the Cairn, for example, which moves at 200 speed, or even the Azagorod, which at almost double the points is still faster at 180 and is meant to be a sort of distant ship, sort of like the Osiris as well. I mean, they're both supposed to fight at distances, generally speaking. Speaking of distance, the Osiris, contrary to the Scourge, is in possession of Gauss Particle Whip turret, so it does benefit from Arc Propagator upgrades, whereas the Scourge has only lightning arcs and lightning arc broadsides as compared to the turrets as well. So it does once again make the Osiris very adept at kiting around, as its turrets can just keep firing no matter what you're doing with it, and which way you're running away with your running silent while you're while your launch bays are going to town. Otherwise, most of its stats are shared with the Battleship and Titan line. Same sort of boarding damage and lightning strike damage. It does have good troop efficiency, but that's generally standard for the Necrons. It's not really a ship that you'll want to fight up close. I think you generally want to try to just maintain close enough a distance that you can get your Gauss particle whip propagation going. Not so close that you're constantly boarding enemies. Although I suppose you could benefit from Lightning Strike upgrade, and I do believe I'm going to take Lightning Strike upgrade on the showcase for these guys. Other than that, let's see. Well, we've talked about the speed. It does have a little bit more armor than the Scourge, although even once again with the battleships and the Titans. Troop numbers are at 40, which is fairly decent. I mean, the Azagorod is also at 40, and so is the Cairn, so it can certainly take some troop damage while it is, well, if it does get caught. Its HP is, I think, a little bit lower than it might otherwise be for a tankier ship. It does fairly close amount of hull damage. It has fairly close amount of hull HP to a Cairn, but at 170 points more expensive, which once again does make sense. It's not supposed to be a tank in the same sense, after all. A little bit more than in Yggdrasil. I mean, yes, it's not as point efficient as a Cairn, but I think it's still in a pretty darn good place, especially with the 85 armor that the Necrons possess in general and the hull repairs. Necron ships are, after all, always deceptively tanky. Other than that, not much to say. We've talked about the weapon systems. Oh, actually, there is one other thing to say. Unlike the Scourge, it is a Necron battleship / Titan, which means it is immune to criticals, which is very, very good. Don't need, thus, the Tesseract Crypt upgrade that the Scourges... Did I say this already? I was gonna say this. But the Scourges would probably benefit from a Tesseract Crypt, especially if they get damaged. You don't want to get screwed over by getting critted out. So the Osiris does benefit very, very much from that. Otherwise, we've talked about the stats, so take a look at the color scheme real quick, and then let's just jump into some battles. I think Mefrit, specifically for this ship, looks absolutely incredible. And Mefrit generally looks really good, but on the Osiris, it just looks magnificent, doesn't it? Very nice, Mefrit. Very nice. We're gonna go with Mefrit, obviously. Alrighty, there's the Neferu, the Neferek. Also look quite good. Maybe I'm just partial to gold on this ship for some reason. I really like the appearance of this ship. It's got the similar sort of design, sort of, as the Azagorod with these claw things up front. I really, really like that. It makes these ships really menacing. It makes me also, however, feel like this ship should have a spur, even though it would really have no use for it. But it's just by the fact that it feels like if you're getting rammed by something like this, it's probably going to hurt. Obviously, I'm not advocating that the ship actually needs a spur or anything like that. It just feels like it sort of already has one and built in. But yeah, especially look at all these blades. Just imagining all the smaller escorts getting ripped apart by all the blades on all over this ship. It's a really lovely looking craft. Absolutely lovely. Very much props to the modders for the form of this ship, in my opinion. Built around a Dark Eldari vessel in there. We can see that. Adding a few extra spiky bits, because clearly this thing needs more blades all over the place. Anyway, that's a Neferik, a Nihilak with their telltale blue hull, or light blue hull. Novak with their red hull and their aggressive dynasty with the red hull. Always love the Novak ships as well. Also looks fantastic in Novak, but to be fair, pretty much every ship looks fantastic in Novak, just because it looks very nice, if a little Christmassy, with the red and the green. It's a festive dynasty. Sautek also looks fantastic. Man, this ship just looks fantastic in so many colors. You gotta love it. The red blades, the grayed out hull. Yeah, if I hadn't done the Sautek for the Azagorod, this would have been the color scheme I would have chosen. Tamarin is pretty normal. It's got the green hull it's green on green, which is great. Probably We got orky ears perking up at the upon hearing green on green. There we go. Then we got the black hull and the light blue LEDs of the Thocht. Also, always looks nice. Yeah, this ship just looks great and everything. And there we go. There we go. Alrighty, we've taken a look at what it does. Let's see it in action. It's once again, it's a fairly simple analysis of this particular ship. I'm gonna go in for Fleet Builder, save it. We're just gonna take 2 Osiris's and 2 Jackals just in case. Mostly because we can't afford anything else, not even a single light cruiser, because we don't have any points left over after 2 Osiris's in a regular setup. And we are going to take Arc Propagator, which would be useless on a fleet of Scourges, but does allow for our Particle Whip turrets to actually propagate, as I was saying earlier. And then we are going to take the Eldritch Bridge. We probably will not ever be close enough to the enemy to get any benefit out of the Nightmare Shroud, and if we are, we're probably going to try to get out as soon as possible. Otherwise, we get 0 benefits out of Structural Analyzer because we have no lightning arcs. Could possibly take that for the Scourges, but once again, probably not something you're relying on. Residual Absorption is generally a good pickup for everybody, but ideally we want to avoid damage, so hopefully we won't need it. Although this is Residual Absorption is sometimes one of those better to have it and not need it sort of upgrades, where it's good for everything, but in this particular case, I think we'll try the Eldritch Bridge. Otherwise, gonna bring a Stasis Bomb and a Canoptech Probe. Obviously, we benefit much from the Transdimensional Thunderbolt, or, well, Transdimensional Thunderbolt really would probably be better than the Stasis Bomb. The thing is, once again, I don't want to do damage to the enemy via the Transdimensional Thunderbolt, because it would be a Transdimensional Thunderbolt showcase, wouldn't it? The Stasis Bomb, while it does interfere with fighters, is good for various things. You don't just have to trap ships you're attacking with fighters, A, and B, you can often use it to separate enemy fleets, which makes it doubly useful. Alrighty, Asuryani. Alright, let's fight the Asuryani first. We'll call this our quote-unquote easy battle, but it might not be as easy as you think, because the Asuryani do possess a fairly decent amount of ordnance themselves. And oh, did I take Mefrit? I hope I took Mefrit. Yeah, we did. Alright. Yeah, do have to fear the Asuryani ordnance. Ah, look at you. Glorious. Alrighty, 2 Osirises. Now we are going to start you both off in reload, and then we're gonna kite in running silent. You guys don't have to face the enemy either. One other thing that you could have possibly done with this is taken 2 of these, but also brought mass recall and then set them up on different portions of the map. Maybe have your Admiral in hiding, whereas your others show itself. Wait for the enemy fleet to go, for example, towards this guy, and then recall him via mass recall to you, and then start kiting all the way over here instead, once the enemy fleet's all the way over there. Could be a pretty neat setup, especially against the Tyranids, because they'd waste all their time going here, you'd recall here, all the while moving all the way out there. But you know, those battles really take a long time, and I don't want to deal with it right now. Anyway, you're going to reload, and let's get to it. Group 1. Canoptech Probe out here, please. They're going to launch some ordnance, but it's going to go back as soon as our Jackals run silent. I do imagine that the enemy fleet is going to move towards us. We'll kite if we need to, but we'll see. Let's try to find them as fast as possible. You're going to hide. You're going to hide right here, and this is a tactic I've picked up over time against the AI specifically. Escorts do survive fairly well when they hide right in the shadow of these structures, if you can manage to wedge them in there well. Sometimes it's hard. It really depends on the escort. Sometimes they really kind of refuse to do it, like this guy's doing right now. But sometimes they'll go right up on in there. It's a lot easier with factions that have access to all ahead full and stuff, because you can sort of force them to essentially ram it, or be so close to ramming that you can then get some benefit out of that. Okay, you're just refusing to move. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. You're gonna die anyway. Not a huge deal. All right, still haven't found. Oh, I guess we just missed all the enemy ships. Whoops. Unfortunate. Might have to send. Oh, hello. If it isn't an admiral. If it is an admiral. Let's see if we can't hit it before it disappears. I mean, if we can't, we can't, but let's try. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm actually almost tempted to jump you forward, get you killed, but at least identify the enemy so we don't lose our... identify? Okay, there we go. You're marked. You're marked, which is nice because our fighters are gonna go for you, and you are an admiral. There we go. Number 1 target, and let's go for focus fire. Oh, what is this? What the betrayal! Vol's dignity, no dignity at all. The torps and the freaking warps. Oh man, okay. Alrighty, here come the fighter bombs. Let's see, you've got 7,500 HP, and I do want to point out that the Necron fighter bombers are particularly effective against the Eldari because the hollow fields don't help so much against that. Very nice. Very nice. Good luck with that, Admiral. Now, we could recall these guys if we really felt like it and force them to come back just to drop their bombs again, but I generally like to do that at a closer distance than I would at a distance like this, because these guys can keep attacking this thing and keep doing damage. They've already crippled its engines, which is quite nice, and it is nearly at half HP, while our Osirises are just fine. We can actually add on to this by throwing some Doom Scythes in there. Like regular Doom Scythes. Well, you can. I guess I only transferred one? No, I transferred two. Did I use one of your abilities? No, whatever. Canoptech Probe out here, let's set up. Oh, they're going after you. Oh, I didn't even realize that they could see you. Who's identifying you? Identify whoever's here? My bad. My bad, little buddy. I stopped paying attention to you because I was watching this thing get wrecked, and oh, the silly AI. Look at it. It's firing its star cannons at at this, and this is what I was talking about. Using these things for cover can be quite effective against the AI, as I said. And there we go. Alrighty, maybe we should get this guy out of here just because this feels kind of cheap. You just die. You just die, buddy. And just so we don't have to rely on that. Alrighty, let us... Well, you're identified. Ooh, what are... No, don't shoot down those torps. Oh, they would have all hit the... Damn. I recalled those fighters at a little bit too late. Oh, that's a glorious looking fighter swarm, though. Ah, man, that disappointed me. Alrighty, yeah, if you guys could kill these escorts before they identify all, you propagate those arcs, please. And do we trap this guy, or do we just hit him with another set of fighters? I think we just keep hitting him with fighters. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. It's a lot of Necron fighters. Oh, come on, destroy this guy, please. Oh no, he's invisible now. Well, that's not good. He's probably gonna identify us. Oh well, if we become visible, we become visible. Not much we can do about that. Send the fighters towards him. Please kill these guys before they, there we go, we've been marked up. Too late now. I mean, as you can see, these are two Eldari escorts and they're taking this long to die, so, yeah, it does make sense. Alrighty, well, now you guys have been identified. Switch to... Well, it's actually pointless to switch to running silent. Let's do this. Jump this way and keep going. There we go, the little guys are mutinying, but our fighter swarms are ripping apart the enemy admiral, which I can appreciate. We're going to be marked up for a little while longer, which is why I haven't gone into running silent. Alright, in fact, run silent now. We should be able to make use of that soon. Oh, they made it through with some bombers. Nice. I thought that our fighters would be able to shoot them down as they went for us. Oh, well, it didn't work. It's fine. Please keep killing these escorts before they mark us up again. Come on. Make use of those particle whips. There we go. Now we're running silent again. Oh, lovely. Can you rip apart that admiral before you die? Let's see what we're at here. 1,000 HP. Lost all your turrets firing, but okay, you've been identified, but you can jump in 7 seconds. I think I'm not going to waste the, yeah, no, just jump. It's fine. There we go. And you can hide as well, you can join them. Alrighty, stay away from the enemy, keep those fighters up and running. It looks like you should be dead very, very soon, and then we'll recall the fighters and have some bombing runs. In fact, what we could do is we could trap some of the enemy craft here. Oh, you guys keep doing your thing. We also have the Eldritch Bridge upgrade available, but we're not quite close enough to board the enemy, although we should be making good use of this. It's a fairly good upgrade if you have a lot of ships that can board. Alright. And, we've been marked up again, unfortunately. Are you still alive? 22 HP. Oh, don't These guys are really gonna stop with this guy at 22 HP? And he's repairing because of the Wraithbone repairs. Ha! That was unlucky, I gotta admit. Now, okay, you know what? Send 2 regular Doom Scythe transfers. Hopefully that'll be enough. It really depends on how many they send towards you. You can jump again in a few seconds. Let's also identify what they've got going on over here. This escort's still alive despite being our #1 target. You might want to actually switch to reactive hull. Yeah, you know what? Switch to reactive hull and move over here. We'll have you tank for a little while. Alright, how's that enemy admiral? Are we gonna make it through? I think we're gonna have to send another set. Alright, fine. 1 here, and then 1, let's say here. And I think otherwise we are good. Yes. You can keep running silent, you can switch running silent afterwards. Let's have you hide in one of these gas clouds a little bit to repair. Can you board these guys? Not yet. You're still maintaining the distance. They were just able to snipe us a little bit. And I don't think this escort's gonna come back this time, although just in case it does, you know what, you guys turn this way, and yeah, it's gonna come back. Let's kill it so that it can't identify us anymore. Really should have focused it a little bit. Alright, how are you doing? Okay, you're out of the picture. I wish I had paid attention to whose fighters these were, but you know what? Let's recover them both, and let's separate the enemy fleet. And by recovering them both, we'll just have them go on another bombing run. Alright, can you guys kill this ship now? Come on. You can ram it, I don't even care. You know what, switch to reload, just make it go faster. Make it go away, please. And you know what, use Star Pulse Wave on it. Honestly, I should have used the Star Pulse Wave before to prevent those bombers. I just didn't expect them to get through like they did. Alright, how are we doing here? Still not close enough for the Eldritch Bridge. Really not getting too much value out of that upgrade. Let's get another set of bombers, both on, let's say, you this time. I didn't really calculate how much damage exactly it did. Alrighty, you guys, move down here. Both of you jump. Maintain that reload. And you know what, actually, we can, now this battle's pretty much over. We can just speed it up and move up closer. No, don't ram into each other, though. No. Necron tails. Okay, there we go. We're good. Alrighty. Now we can keep the fighters there. Yeah, you're in a pretty bad way there, buddy. You're dead. Alright, everybody move forward. Let's take out the last ship, and let's move to some other sort of enemies, and get that Canoptech probe, just in case this guy disappears, even though the Canoptech probe's attached. One last hit. You guys run silent now. Recall fighters. I'd love to board you. You do appear to still be moving. Come on. Gotta take out that hollow field so we can actually board you. Unfortunately, oh, I didn't mean to click over there. Unfortunately, the stasis bomb doesn't help very much against that. Because they're still moving at max speed, but in stasis, right? Alright, I think it's gonna get killed by all this anyway. Yeah, there we go. The bombers have taken care of that, and this battle should be over. Well done, Osiris. We did see them heal up, and this certainly shows why the residual absorption could have been helpful, or more helpful in this particular case, as we could have repaired faster and more instead of getting zero value out of our Eldritch Bridge, but that's partially because we were against the Eldari, and there was no predicting that we would have gotten a random fight against the Eldari. Now, we are definitely not fighting the Necrons because we just get obliterated, because our carriers would get absolutely no use out of them unless we played it really, really carefully, and I don't want to spend half an hour kiting the enemy Necrons around. It'll just be annoying. Do we want to fight the Tyranids or the Space Marines? Who would be more difficult? I would say the Tyranids would be more difficult in this particular situation. Let's do the Tyranids. Alrighty. And yeah, that battle was, I'd say, mid-difficulty in the sense that it took our fighters quite a while to bring the enemy down. Ooh, this is a cool-looking system. I love the lighting that we got going on here. Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful damn ships. Alrighty, once again, similar to what we did last time. These guys have to hide, unfortunately, because they are kiting carriers. It's what they're made for. In fact, wait, let's switch you guys like this so that the Admiral isn't the first in line. Switch you both to reload while you're here, and you two. Right there. Run silent, ready up. And hello, if it isn't a behemoth. Well, good luck with that behemoth. Everybody send fighters. Let's set you up right here. Let's set you up a little bit closer. Let's also start setting up our Canoptech probe. We are definitely going to have to kite here, because otherwise this can get very dangerous. And no. You had a specific place where you were going, buddy. And let's speed this up a little bit, because it's going to take a while for the fighters. I mean, to be fair, carriers are not the they're not the most fun sort of ships to watch, but they're fun to play with. Ooh, yeah, this is such a lovely map. Damn, look at all the lighting on all these pieces of debris and stuff. You gotta love this game. Alrighty, Behemoth, let's see how much damage you take from all the fighters. You're at 6875, and then after the... Hey, come back here. This is so rude, man. This is just so rude. Guys, maintain a little bit of distance. We're gonna have to try to stop the enemy fleet. Ideally, we want to kill the behemoth before it gets to us. Oh, they've got the synaptic node upgrade on any hive ship. Yes, okay. Alrighty, oh, not bad. Not bad at all. Let's take it down to 4,000 and then send the fighters back. In fact, maybe let's do it right now. But, yeah, keep the rest of the enemy fleet. Number one, target these guys. All these little escorts. Ignore the behemoth, because hopefully we can rip it apart with our fighters. Alright, fighter bombers, rather. Fighter bombers are coming back. We're gonna have to stop this hive ship in its tracks with a stasis bomb. Let's also get a Canoptech probe out here, just in case they manage to hide themselves again. Looks like this big boy's going after our jackal there. Come on, fighters, come back. Get ready to go. Alright. 1, 2. Better not sue, and ooh, sailed right past that poor jackal. All right, you guys keep ripping apart those escorts. Oh, it looks like our other jackal has been detected. You, move out here. Try to get out if you can, buddy. Oh, what is this? The betrayal. The AI is constantly betraying itself. Ouch, ouch. All right, fighters moving into the behemoth once more. Some of them will get shot down, but it's fine. The behemoth, unfortunately for the AI, does not have turrets, so fighters, while not crazy effective against Tyranids in general, are quite effective against the behemoth in particular, because it doesn't have shields and therefore does not have turrets, because that's how the Tyranids function. Alrighty, 1,400. I think we will just wait for the fighters to hit you. I mean, we could just get them back and kill you for good. I'd love to. Oh. We might have to jump here. We've been identified. I don't want to get wrecked by this thing. You know what? We got a few seconds probably before its rush comes back. So let's hit it with some fighter bombers. Maybe it'll die here before we have to jump. Come on, come on, come on, come on. They should be able to take it out. There we go. Very nice. And we're back in stealth for at least a few seconds. Now, jump here. Jump here. Go. Go, 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 go. And switch to, well, running silent is not going to help in this particular situation. Ow. Well, that's unfortunate, but we do have more mass than these smaller ships, so it's not a big deal. Where's that damn hive ship? This is what I was trying to find. No, 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 no. Okay, so that's dangerous. We might have to abandon one of our ships. Also recall our fighters. You need to jump in 29 seconds. Fortunately, since we're immune to crits, we're not going to be losing our... jump capabilities, or our inertialist drive capabilities, rather. You guys, I'm not seeing any enemy harpies or ether swimming brood squadrons on the field. It's a bioacid hive ship, so it does have a couple launch bases, just not using them, really. Alrighty. And boarding the enemy is also honestly kind of pointless in this particular situation. I guess we could board the hive ship just because. Let's destroy these smaller craft first. You and you. Because they will continue harassing us and boarding us. You're gonna drop down one state. Let's also jump you. I probably should have transferred troops instead, but whatever. It's not a huge deal here. 10% is not it's not a major difference. It's more of an annoyance. Alrighty, you guys. You need to be recalled in a few seconds. I mean, turns are always going to be different. We also need to try to face in such a way that we can actually fire our arc, or I was about to say arc propagators, but rather our particle whips. What's going on here? Oh, is this the ship that this hive ship rammed? It looks like it's part of this ship, actually. It would be cool if you could sort of merge Tyranid ships together like this, create a sort of like a catamaran creature. You guys, kill this. Kill us, and oh, if it isn't the enemy admiral, maybe we should focus you. You guys almost are both ready to jump. In fact, you're both ready to jump right now. Let's kill this, hit that admiral. I want you dead. Let's also trap this hive ship, and then we'll jump. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Kill this ship. In fact, wait, you jump now. Because you've been getting boarded a lot. And then you, start plus wave and jump. Alright, this ship should die. We'll recall our fighters in a second. Ooh, in fact, wait, maybe we should wait for the enemy admiral to die. Been fairly good. Now, I believe we're no longer identified, so let's stealth up. And there we go. I wanted to keep the reload up so we could kill all the escorts. Oh, there is still another escort. You're still number 1 targeted. That's been around for a while. Let's also get another Canoptech probe going. Fortunately, the enemy hive ship is still trapped, but the enemy fleet will not go feral until this hive ship is dead as well. You will die. You will burn to death plus get fighter swarmed to death. Our swarm is better than yours. Cool shot, though. Down you go, fella. And the Doom Scythe circle. Like vultures. Let's just get you squadrons back up in here. And you guys. I really want this little tiny escort ship dead, but being kind of a... actually, if it rams us, that's fine. You two, launch this. Fortunately, we don't need to waste a lot of points on repairs. Yeah, we are losing troops. That's absolutely the case. You guys, kill the smaller ship out here. We'll leave the hive ship to last. Ooh, you don't sit in there. It's another benefit of using the Necrons against the Tyranids in particular. They can't get trapped in the spore fields, especially for the ships that are immune to criticals. Alrighty. I know he's saying all power to motive units, but it keeps sounding like molten units to me. Let's once again trap this hive ship. It should be the last stasis bomb that we need. And you guys, do you need to stay hidden? Yeah, why not? Why not? You can avoid getting more troop damage. In fact, wait, you switch to reload. I'd like these guys to both die. I really wish that there were like numbers beside ordnance so that you know whose ordnance belongs to who. It would be really helpful. I think you're gonna get in range. Come on, die before you get in range to board again. I think we're good. Alright, switch to reload, both of you. We don't really care about the single bioacid hive ship. Battle should be just about over. And let's speed it up. Speed it up. Canoptech Probia for no reason. Just because we can. Alright, whoa, slow back down, relax. Relax, game, relax. And then launch all fighters and then go right here. And then while you're hidden, stop and face this thing so that you can fire on it. There we go. Fighters and bombers, there you go. Lots and lots of damage there. Sorry, Tyranids. Another cool shot. You gotta love this particular map, though. Look at all those little Gauss beams. I wish that they would, like, you could see, like, their impact instead of, like, there not being really an impact. Like, at least the Tyranid ship should at least bleed, or like maybe small explosions on different types of ships, and down goes the enemy hive ship. There we go. The particle whips, ironically, finished it off instead of the carriers. Alrighty, I think that's pretty good. I don't think we need to fight any other sort of factions, because the play style with these guys doesn't really change very much depending on any factions you're facing, because you don't really benefit from changing up your tactics. Like, for example, you might with the Azagorod, wherein you might want to jump in close against the Tyranids or the Orcs, or maybe even the Eldari, because you have access to so many lightning arcs. This thing doesn't really benefit from any of that, just because it just relies on those particle whips and all fighters. So no matter who you face, you're roughly doing the exact same thing. You're cloud hopping, you're hiding, you're using your mission dissipators, or rather you're running silence stance, and you're trapping the enemies and just killing them slowly but surely. Anyway, that's it for the Osiris. Next time we will be moving on to, I want to say, the Emotech Cairn, the Close Combat Cairn, and another one of my favorite Necron ships. Or is it the Nyadrazatha next time? We will see. It'll be some fun ships coming up, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave a like and comment for your friendly neighborhood heretic. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.